Hello everyone, welcome back to our course. My name is Sir Ced, and for today, let's learn about the physical aspect of the self. In this lesson, you will be able to define the physical aspect of the self. You will discuss how culture shapes the notion of beauty and how it affects the self. So the self as the body. The physical self refers to the body. It is the tangible aspect of the person that can be directly observed and examined. So these are referring to your physical characteristics that are visible to the human eye. Such traits are sex, weight, height, complexion, hair, and facial features. It does not include characteristics that are internal to the self, such as kindness, generosity, obedience, values, and other personality. Maturation is known as the completion of growth of a genetic character within an organism or the unfolding of an individual's inherent traits or potential. So, as we grow old, we undergo maturation or we become mature individuals, no? So it is a continuous process of development. Here are some concepts of the self. Heredity is defined as the transmission of traits from parents to offspring. So these traits are made up of specific information that are embedded into one's genes, no? Also through the DNA. So genotype refers to the specific information embedded within one's genes. No, not all genotype translate to an observed physical characteristics, while phenotype is the physical expression of a particular trait. Okay, so each individual carries 23 pairs of chromosomes, which are thread-like bodies in the nucleus of the cell and the storage unit of the genes. So the 23rd pair of the chromosome, which is also known as the sex chromosomes, determine the sex of an individual, either he or she is male or female. Within each chromosome is the DNA, which is a nucleic acid that contains the genetic instructions specifying the biological development of every individual. So, um, let's talk about the impact of culture on beauty and body image. So, we all know that that our community or the society per se has their connotation or has their standards when it comes to the beauty and the image to one's body. In commercials, that's what you can see. Uh, I believe in the Philippines, fair-skinned women are considered to be beautiful. No, if you are not fair-skinned, no, you are not into that standard of beauty that they post. No, everyone has their own standard or has their own bearing when it comes to beauty. So when is a person considered to be beautiful? What is the socially accepted standard of beauty? So these are some of the questions that we could ask to ourselves. Usually only the physical features such as the face and the body are considered to be the basis of beauty. No, if the person has a slim nose, no, kapag matangos yung ilong, kapag sexy yung figure, no, kapag payat yung person, no, sometimes these are some of the characteristics that people consider to be beautiful. Okay, most prominently, present culture prescribes that being beautiful is a necessity, an obligation in order to be liked and loved. Sabi nga ni Dr. Vicky Bello, no, he entered into dermatology because she wants to help people, no, to become beautiful, for them to be loved, for them to be to to be liked by other people, no. So most definitely, culture has a great impact on how we see and view beautiful or being beautiful. It is true that beauty is important, but caring for one's beauty is another thing. It is very different from altering or modifying it. So there are some people who undergo um, some reconstruction surgery or some surgical procedures in order for them to enhance their features, like for cosmetic surgeries, no, they want to have a slimmer nose or to have a jawline, something like that, but modifying it is another story or another story compared to simply caring for oneself, like basic skincare, no, like eating right, exercise, no. Those two things are very different. Will there be beauty if there is no sight? So beauty denotes something that is appealing to the eye, ear, and the mind. Like, for example, a voice or a melody that is pleasurable to hear is something beautiful. Like when you hear someone sing, you could say that you have a beautiful voice. Okay, so that is another form or another aspect when we say beautiful or being, on this of beauty. Stories or personal experiences related or narrated by another person that invoke positive feelings are also considered to be beautiful. Like if you have a beautiful life, okay, if you share something that is a beautiful experience to another person. So again, we have different construction and impression when it comes to beauty. The self-concept. Okay, this is a question that we sometimes ask to ourselves. Who am I? How I define myself? How do I see myself? No, this is the idea of the self that is constructed from his or her own beliefs that one holds true about oneself and the responses of others. So if you see or view yourself as someone who is a kind person or someone who is a bad person, no, basically that is the construction, the image that you construe in your mind that you are that kind of person. So in self-concept, a term that is also related to this is the self-esteem. This is used to describe a person's overall subjective sense of personal worth or value. In other words, self-esteem may be defined as how much you appreciate and like yourself regardless of the circumstances. Okay? So another term that I wanted to highlight is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy, no, as from the theory of Albert Bandura, is referred to an individual's belief in his or her capacity to execute behaviors necessary to produce specific performance or attainment. So I could say that self-efficacy is important. It is about having that confidence that you could actually do it. For example, you are given a challenge, okay, or if you are given a task by your teacher, but you really believe that you can do it within 1 or 2 days, no? That is your self-efficacy thought that you could actually do and perform, okay, that task that is given to you. It's very important for your self-esteem and in your self-concept. Okay, for the self-esteem, this is how much you appreciate yourself, no? Like when you say, I'm great, I'm ugly, no? Those are some part of your self-concept that is built up in your mind. Factors affecting development and growth are the following. Hereditary factors. These are the transmission through the genes, no? From our parents, from our ancestors. Biological ancestors can be defined or affected by nutrition and gender, no? Like for example, if you're eating right or if you are not eating properly, then you might have some you might have some malnutrition, or you might experience some deficiency in your body or whatnot. And gender, of course, gender basically because male and female body produces different hormones. Now, basically, it does really connote in terms of our mood. It can affect how our emotions are built up, how we eat, no? So several factors are affected by our hormones, no? Emotional intelligence factors, like if a person is inherently emotionally intelligent, no, in certain aspects, that he could control himself, he has self-control, he could function effectively, he has a good well-being. Now this could really affect one's self-esteem. Environment, no, through nurturing of our parents or anyone, our significant others, can really affect our self-esteem. If we are honed, or if we are uprooted that we are intelligent people or individuals, well, definitely it could have a positive effect in our self-esteem, no? Geographical influence through the communities we are living in right now, through the society, no? Our workplace, our school. These are some of the factors that could affect our self-esteem. If we are being bullied, syempre, it has a negative connotation in our self-esteem. Economic and social status, like the libraries, parks, no, and other recreational or other establishments that could affect our self-esteem. Well, basically, these are some of the places that the person can go wherein he could reach or he could get some resources to help him or her. Accidents and incidents, like example of this are trauma. Well, basically, these are some incidences that are unexpected and could really has a detrimental effect in our self-esteem and in our self-concept. What is beauty? Okay, for most philosophers, they have a lot of definitions when it comes to being beautiful. For some philosophers, like Aristotle, he defines beauty as having order, symmetry, and definiteness, no, which is the mathematical sciences exhibit to a special degree. So basically, if he see borders that are quite symmetrical, then that is beautiful for some philosophers like Aristotle. According to Plato, beauty was an idea or form of which beautiful things were consequence. Beauty, by comparison, begins in the domain of intelligible objects, such there is a form of beauty. Well, he could see it like it is part of something. Okay, that is part of a thing, no? Like a characteristic. He see it like a characteristic, okay, that is part of a thing, like a chair or a ball or a cloth, for example, no? He see that there is a beauty that is being possessed by this object per se, no? That is according to Plato. So, in general, philosophers have not agreed on whether beauty is subjective or objective, no? So, the quality or aggregate qualities of a person or thing that gives pleasure to the senses or pleasurable exalts the mind or spirit. Well, this is definitely the definition of beauty. But as what I can say, there is really no defined or universal meaning or definition of beauty. What is the physical self? The physical self refers to the completion of growth of a genetic character within an organism or the unfolding of an individual's inherent traits or potentials. So, this refers to the concrete dimensions of the body. It is a tangible aspect of the person which can be directly observed and examined. Okay, so a period of rapid physical changes is known to be puberty. No, as we become adolescents, we undergo or we went through this process of puberty of changing. No, so like for instance, girls reach their puberty earlier than boys. They experience menarche or yung first menstrual period nila. For boys, they also experience spermarch or seminarch, which is the first ejaculation or nocturnal emissions through wet dreams. So in physical self, this refers to our body that can be easily examined and observed, like brown eyes, tan skin, white hair, okay, those characteristics that are viewed by the human eye. Achieving physical well-being. So these are just some examples on how we can improve our physical selves. Like we eat healthy foods, we eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of protein, a lot of just to eat properly. Okay, avoid eating a lot of sugar, a lot of high calorie intake or dependent, just based on a diet that you wanted to achieve. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. So, healthy lifestyle should be consistent as we grow old, as we live day by day. No? It should become a lifestyle. Kaya siya naging healthy lifestyle. Follow proper hygiene. So, hygiene is very important. No? It also part of our identity. If we are viewed as someone who has no proper hygiene, there is a negative impression towards us. Engage in daily exercise. So make it consistent if you want to follow a specific exercise. If you want to do yoga or Zumba or jogging or walking, any form of exercise is really healthy as we grow old. Take vitamins and drink fruit juices. So as much as possible, we want to has or to obtain the good nutrients in our body. We want it to become healthy, and so we go on to those minerals or to those vitamins that are organic or that are needed by our body to maintain our good health. So avoid stress. Well, stress is unavoided, I can say, but we could manage, we could practice good coping up skills in order for us not to be so overwhelmed by the stressful events in our life. Spend less time in front of computers and gadgets. So the social media has become prominent, especially to the millennials. No, most of us, because of the pandemic, we just try to connect to our friends through our cell phones, through our smartphones, not through online and whatnot. But this is also important for you to have a time wherein you will just focus into different things rather than cell phone. Just reading a book, a physical book, or you might practice good healthy habits such as cooking or practicing a new skill or developing something in yourself that is without using a computer or an online device. Okay, and that is the end of my presentation. I hope you've learned something in this lesson. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day. See you soon. Goodbye.